We're gonna let the beast out, caged up, held down for far too long. You ready? Be ready. Breathe in, smell the victory. Breathe out, let go of all the doubt you feel. Believe, reject defeat. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. When it's on the line, seize the moment when the moment's right. Come on, you're in this fight. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. Stand the test of time. Seize the moment when the moment's right. Come on, believe you're in this fight. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. Hold up, are you listening? Focus in, we're looking to make history. Let's go, we know.
It's Tuesday night. Let's go. It's time for the pregame blitz. This always happens. I wish you guys could see and hear the zany stuff that we talk about as a show crew before we go on the air. You know, most of the time, people start arriving about 10, 15 minutes before the show, and we meet virtually backstage, and we talk about, you know, how the day's gone, how the week's gone, things that we've heard, things that we want to talk about tonight, just general topics, life in general, right? And some of the things that ensues in that 15-minute window by the time we pop up on the screen versus the time that we show up live, so you guys are watching what we're talking about and doing, some of the crazy stuff that goes on. I wish you could see and hear things that we talk about. One crazy thing that we did was it almost got me in a near panic because, you know, we're counting down the show, a few minutes left, and I'm trying to get the phone system set up and the video equipment, things like that. And so I've got to take my earpiece out so I can run around to the other side of the computer and you know, see what's going on, make sure everything's plugged in, set up correctly. And so I pull out I don't know if you guys notice, but I don't have those big headphones that some broadcasters like to wear. I have kind of professional earpieces here that fits inside here, and people talk to me, and so it's just a lot. I think it's a cleaner look on the screen. So I took my earpiece out. And so when I came back to sit down, I started putting my earpiece back in. I noticed the little plastic foam tip that you put inside your ears to make it more comfortable was missing. It's like, where the heck is? So I'm looking under my desk. I'm looking under my chair. Maybe it's just dropped off. And I noticed that my ear feels full. And so, you know where that missing earpiece was? It was lodged inside my ear. It had I ripped it out, I guess, not correctly, out of my ear, and the little foam piece just stayed in there, and I couldn't get it out. So I spent a good couple, 2-3 minutes trying to get this thing out. I thought I was going to go get my wife, my kids, whatever, get a pair of tweezers, go to the ER, try to get this. So I finally kind of wiggled it away out and finally came out. So anyway, the show almost didn't happen tonight because of that. Cole Moore says, yeah, that's very professional, dude. I was like, I know. I never professed to be a very good professional at this kind of stuff, but it is a very entertaining show, right? So anyway, I want to welcome you guys to the Tuesday night pregame blitz / the Viking Nation live. That's what we're calling it, I guess, for lack of a better name, for the summertime. But the summertime, you know, we're about halfway done, right? Next week is the 4th of July, and you guys know what that means. That means really the countdown in earnest to the football season quickly begins after the 4th of July holiday. So anyway, so that's what we're here to talk about tonight is high school football. What's going on? As you guys like to remind, you better not ever say anything about my you better not ever say anything about how big my ears are. Tim, I will never, ever again say anything about how ginormous your ears are. I promise. Okay. So anyway, let me go ahead and before I welcome our super fans on the screen, let me go ahead and thank our sponsors, the Pepsi Bottling Company. This is the pregame blitz presented by, right? That they are our title sponsor, presented by Pepsi Bottling Company of Valdosta. They have some great flavors. You guys see them over my left shoulder of this with this clever product placement. I want to go ahead and make sure you guys see that. See right over there? You got Mountain Dew, Pepsi, Mountain Dew Spark, which is, I had one of those today. That's why I'm all wired up. I tried to drink one right before the show. We've got Mountain Dew Energy and Rockstar as well. And you see those guys. So we got you covered, Pepsi Bottling Company, with the product placement on this show. So we want to thank these guys for sponsoring our show. The guys like Doyer Deloach at Pepsi Bottling Company, they're a big time sponsor of not just supporter of this show, but overall local athletics in general. We can always count on the guys at Pepsi Bottling Company. We also want to thank Tim Neesmith. Speaking of, I'm not going to say it, Tim. I'm not going to say it. Speaking of big head parts, right? Tim Neesmith, Shade of Perfection. He is a master at custom shades and blinds. So we want to make sure we thank Tim Neesmith and his guys at A Shade of Perfection. You guys want to make your window treatments look really, really nice? Give Tim a call at 229-251-3479. Thank you, Stickman, for your support of our show. The Migraine and Spine Clinic of Valdosta, Josh Batson and Justin Haskin, do a great job because they are certified headache medicine specialists. They know how to make your pain go away. And they do it the good way, right? None of that narcotic stuff that everybody seems to be talking about nowadays. No, they do it the right way. So give Josh and Justin a call at the Migraine and Spine Clinic of Valdosta. White Oak Investment, our hotline, because Kyle called me up a couple weeks ago. He says, dude, I want to step up and upgrade my sponsorship of your show. I want to sponsor the hotline. So that's what we've done. We've agreed to that. So when you call in tonight on our hotline at, where is, this number right here, at 229-469-1205, that is the White Oak Investment Hotline. So give us a call a little bit later on the show because I got to make sure I introduce all these sponsors first. White Oak Investment, Kyle Conger. You see the stock market go up and down. Kyle can help you navigate the rough waters of the financial world right now. Whether you need financial planning or just general advice on the stock market, he can give you a hand. We want to thank Matthew Godwin at Verizon Wireless on Perimeter Road. If you need help with iPhone, Androids, accessories, I gave Matthew a call today and said, hey, what's wrong with my phone? And so he walked me through it and we got it taken care of. If you need help with if you need with iPhone, Androids, accessories, or small business accounts, give Matthew Godwin a call at Verizon Wireless on Perimeter Road. We also want to thank Steve Nichols. He's probably watching tonight. Steve, man, give us a shout. We'd love to have you on the show one of these nights to talk about your show and what you do differently Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Freedom with Steve Nichols. That's all this guy ever does is talk about how to preserve, celebrate, defend, and protect freedom. That's what Steve's a master at. Freedom with Steve Nichols can be watched on Facebook, YouTube, Discord, and soon to be website, freedomnetworks.com. We also want to thank the fine folks at Commercial Banking Company. Guys, you see the Fed keeps raising rates. So if you're in the market for a new house or you want to renovate your house, now's the time to lock in your loan rates. Give these folks a call at Commercial Banking. These guys are great community partners. They've been around this community for quite some time. They know it. They love it. That's why they stay here. It's nice to have a community bank that you can rely on for all your banking needs. Commercial Banking Company for your personals, checking, savings accounts, CDs, IRAs, auto loans, mortgage loans, and business loans. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors and more to come. So anyway, one of the challenges that we have is getting this crew all together on the same page. So we got Chase Garnto, Cole Moore, Justin Haley. So Cole in audio only. So I guess we've upgraded our software now. So our tech guys, sometimes they forget to tell me this stuff. So anyway, Chase Garnto, Freedom Networks, presented by G Nation Media. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Hey, I love
what you thinking, Chase. I love it, man.
Got to give you a plug, Larry.
Now, Cole Moore, he's in the background. He's on mute. One of the things that we do, guys, is we have a private chat area that the guys that are on the show use so we can communicate with each other. And so you don't see it because sometimes we have to say things to each other that, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. I got to go take a break. I got to go do this, that. And it's not necessarily for public consumption, right? But we want to give each other a heads up. So I'm going to tell on Cole Moore. So listen, Cole says this, and he sends me this message in our private chat area. He says, when I introduce the program tonight as what, the pregame Blitz and the Viking Nation Live, he says, I quit. I ain't being a part of Viking Nation. That's okay, Cole Moore, because you've been banned in Lowndes County. So you don't have to worry about it. Along with your counterpart, Justin Haley.
Yeah,
How you doing, Justin?
I'm with Cole. I'm boycotting this.
Yeah. The infamous Justin Haley.
The infamous Justin Haley.
I'm bringing the mustache back, and I'm coming to mess up somebody's game this year. That's all I'm saying.
No, you just be honest. You went and watched Top Gun, and now you're trying to copy it.
No, I had this. I grew it out last year for about 2 months as a joke. I figured I'd do it again.
Hey Chase. Should we nickname Justin on the screen and give him the nickname of Rooster?
Oh no.
And the fine folks are watching into the shows like, what are you guys doing? Get on with the show. So let's go ahead and do that. Guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but a couple of polls have come out recently this week. We got a little bit of feedback. So go ahead and mute your lines if you're not talking, just to make sure we can cut down on the feedback. Let's see. So a couple of the national polls have hit the this is when you can really tell when football season is getting close, because the national polls come out first, and then in about a month or so we'll get some statewide Georgia AJC type of state poll. But right now, 2 national polls came out this week. One is from a group that I'm affiliated with, nationalhsfb.com, and Joe Mamone. As a matter of fact, he's watching tonight. He commented, "Greetings from New Jersey." Hey, Joe, welcome to the program, man. I'm about to share your national poll. So, guys, check out this poll. So Joe is the one that puts out this poll, and this organization, nationalhsfb.com. By the way, if you guys are really interested in the national high school football scene, you need to check out mine and Joe's website, nationalhsfb.com, and join the conversation. It is fun to keep up with the national programs. So this is the poll that we just came out with. So you see that St. Francis, you guys remember St. Francis, guys? This is the team that came down several years ago from the Maryland area, the DC area, something like that, and came down to Leesburg and played Lee County right after they won a state championship a couple of years ago. And Lee County hung with them for maybe a quarter and a half, something like that, maybe 2 quarters. And then St. Francis just ran away with it. You could tell this is why. You can really tell these nationally prominent companies, or not companies, nationally prominent high school football teams, they are really good. Now, some will claim that they recruit, whatever. Some will claim that they just transfer in normally or naturally. Whatever the case, all these national teams are loaded with stud athletes. And St. Francis is one of them. Oh, Joe corrects me. He says they're from Baltimore. You're right, Joe. Thank you so much for correcting me. You got St. John Bosco, Mater Dei. As a matter of fact, Joe and I interviewed the head coaches from numbers 2, St. John Bosco, from Mater Dei, from number 22, Lipscomb Academy. And that's Trent Dilfer's team. So you can take a look. There's a couple of Georgia teams that have made this. Guys, let me ask Justin and Chase, does it surprise you that Buford has made the national list, coming in on Joe's preseason poll at number 13?
No.
Now, Justin, you said that now that Buford has been elevated to the highest class in Georgia, they basically have no reason not to bring in the top athletes anymore, right?
No, that's right. I mean, they've got probably that I know of. They got over 20 that they've already got in, and then you got the 4-star running back. They just got a 4-star linebacker as of yesterday or day before, from my understanding. So they don't have a cap on anything. Their campus can hold another 2,000-3,000 students easy.
That's right. Yeah. I'm starting to agree with you, man, because it's like Katie bar the door now when it comes to Buford, right? So Joe's got them in at the preseason level at number 13. Joe reminds me, he says we've interviewed coaches from number 2, number 3, number 8, number 9, help me out, Joe, number 12, number 20. So this is why you want to check out our site, nationalhsfb.com, because we bring all the great coaches to your computer screen so you can hear from, and number 15, American Heritage. By the way, American Heritage, Chase, I don't know if this, Chase, I don't know if this makes you nervous. Hey, Viking Nation, does this make you nervous to see American Heritage start out the preseason as number 15th ranked team in the country?
Nope.
Why do you say that, Chase?
Well, because I look at these polls one way, okay? And it's based. I
know what you're going to say. You're going to say it's one guy's opinion. No.
I think it's more of who can afford the most marketing.
Okay.
Who can brand their team and who can promote their brand the most. I mean.
So you think it's just PR?
Well, look at the teams that are on top. I mean, IMG, which is pretty much a high school college. And those guys like that, I mean, dude, you're talking about schools that have, $1 million, $8, $9, $10 million facilities to train in year round.
Yeah.
I mean, do you see? Okay, I'll give you a prime example, Larry. Early 2000s.
Okay.
Lowndes was probably the most dominant team in the state of Georgia. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we won 3 out of 4 state championships.
Yeah.
We wasn't even ranked on MaxPreps. No, we wasn't ranked. We were.
Wait a minute. Wait. I can't remember what. You might be right. I have to go look at MaxPreps, but we were ranked in one of those years because I remember this vividly. We were ranked like number 2 or 3 or something like that, and we went into Ware County and they beat us, and we ran the table the rest of the year to win a state championship. But man, we had a chance that year of being a national title contender and rolled into Ware County, and they embarrassed us.
So we walked into that game sleeping.
If Lowndes would have beat Ware, they most likely would have won the national championship because of how Lowndes just rolled over everybody. It just made Lowndes basically a sleeping giant and refocused that program. But Lowndes was very, very good that year.
Yeah, but that was the only year we were ranked, though, right, Cole?
No. A couple of years ago, not a couple of years ago, but several.
A couple of years ago, yes.
A couple of years ago, now the way these national polls work, guys, is it's more than just a one and done type of season. What Joe Mamone does, what Zach Poff at MaxPreps does, what these other national guys do is they take a look at programs that basically are on multi-year runs. So you win out basically a couple straight years. That's when you get national attention, and then you start winning again. And that's what happened in Calkin County. Remember Rush Probst comes, he elevates the team to perennial powerhouse status in the state of Georgia. Basically has a multi-year run, gets national attention, and then all of a sudden the cards fell in place in 2015, something like that, in their second undefeated season, they capture one of the national championship titles. So that's usually the way. So I would push back a little bit on when you say that these guys hit these rankings by PR. Now I would agree with you PR helps.
It does help.
It helps in the fact that you have to win several years in a row and be high profile and get the national attention, the national press, and then that's how you elevate yourself. So you're right. It works hand in hand, but they don't do it themselves.
No,
promoting their program.
No, I ain't saying that. I'm saying kind of like look at it like this. Anywhere you go, everybody knows who the Valdosta Wildcats are.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But
did you say unfortunately?
Yeah, I said unfortunately.
You don't think they deserve a little bit of respect for what they've done?
Yeah, the Cats deserve a lot of respect. That's why they're known.
Yeah, 10 years ago maybe. Now that
you win. I don't care if it was 10 years ago or not. You win 24 state championships.
Oh Lord, here we go. I've been waiting for this. Cole versus Chase.
Wait. Are you sure you're not a
Justin and I
Wildcat
just gonna
fan?
sit back.
Like every one of them I know. All y'all do is point to history. Well, guess what? That black and gold has faded.
Hey, hold on.
Ain't nobody scared of that no more.
Hold on. Well, if those were so old, what's taking Lowndes so long to catch up?
Well, because back in the day, Lowndes didn't have a football program. If you wanted to play football, you went to Valdosta.
Still don't make it. It's taking you a while to catch up.
Valdosta had a 40-year head start.
Still don't mean nothing to me.
The only reason why Valdosta will ever win any of them championships because the Air Force Base came in and they got everybody and their mama to come work.
Oh Lord! Listen,
before
this turns into a battle royale where people are bringing in chairs from the fans and Justin's jumping off the top turnbuckle.
It don't matter to me. 24 is 24 and
it is.
5 is 5.
Oh Lord!
Listen, let me divert your attention to something. Justin, let me introduce. I can't believe I'm about to say this. Justin, let me introduce some sanity back into this program by asking you a question. Okay,
that's right.
All right, so here's part of MaxPreps is national ranking. You notice they've got Colquitt County in the top 100 this year, starting out at number 85. You think that's justified? Why or why not?
I mean, truthfully, I think it is. There's a team on both of the lists that goes along with kind of what you said, just because of how much they're winning, that they get that respect, and I understand it. But Thompson out of Alabama, they're a good football team. Don't get me wrong, but that caliber of football and that side of the school, I think you're going to see Buford just steamroll. So you take it in that account. I went over there the year that they started. What was it? Almost a month early for COVID, and I watched Jamie DuBose and they took. I think it was Thompson. They took on Thompson. Or who did they take on that night? No, they took on. I'm sorry. It was two of the top ranked teams. It was number 2 and number 4 in the state. Anyway, I drove over to that game since it was right outside of Columbus in Phoenix City, and I just, I didn't come back impressed. I came back impressed with the skill guys, but none of the linemen, none of anything that they can't hold up. And I don't think, there's teams that get recognition. I understand what Chase is saying with just marketing and stuff like that. Your point goes as well, just because they're winning, but I don't think the caliber of football at like Thompson. I think you'll see Thompson in the first 2 weeks drop out of the top 50. I just don't. They're not playing. Their size and our size are two different sizes. I mean, you could take Georgia, Texas, Florida, and California, and those 4 states' sizes on the line are completely different than anybody else's, and that's what makes a difference. So I'm surprised at Thompson. I'm not surprised at Colquitt. I think Colquitt's a better team than Thompson.
I got you. Hold on, guys. I gotta do this. I promise this will be worth it. Listen, for all the Lowndes fans out there, I got an idea. It just struck me. Chase, I don't know if you done something different with your hair. Did you shave it on the sides?
Yeah.
Okay. Check this out. It just struck me that I think we have a new live mascot from remember that TV show Vikings? that came on cable TV several years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Chase, you might be like the spitting image. You might be the new live Viking mascot. Look at that. Look at that
Oh,
serious
Lord.
face, man.
Oh, Lord.
Ah!
Oh, God.
Oh, he can be like man, that dude at I know y'all in the middle of Georgia area, but that guy at Peach County has been the same Trojan mascot. They've had him in a costume for forever, man. Chase, he's been doing it like 40 years. You step up and do it for that long, man.
No. I got mad respect for that mascot that runs around out there at Lowndes High School on Friday night. Hats off to him, because I ain't doing it. I'm too old and too fat.
Yeah. Well, let me bring your attention a couple of big time games. You were talking about Thompson a while ago, Justin. A couple of big time games that Joe Mamone is putting together with his company, Prep Gridiron Logistics. That's going to occur first game of the season, August 19th, the Freedom Bowl in Milton. Right? You've got Buford versus Thompson, and Milton versus Lipscomb, Tennessee. Lipscomb Academy out of Tennessee, and that's Trent Dilfer's program. You know, speaking of Trent Dilfer, Cole, I thought about you this week because, you know, a couple of weeks ago I had a chance to interview Trent Dilfer, the new head coach at Lipscomb Academy. He's been there 2-3 years, something like that. Look at the comments from page. Yeah, I noticed that. I'm not sure why it's not the name that's coming across.
I got to get with Joe because I'm going to that Buford Thompson game for sure. That's going to be the first game on this.
Yeah, you met Joe one time last Christmas time.
Yep.
At the state championship game. Joe rents a nice skybox at the Georgia State Stadium every year, Center Park Stadium, I think it's called. And I look forward to hanging out with Joe and a couple of head coaches up there this coming state championship football season. So anyway, he's putting together a couple of great games to start off. One of his Lowndes versus American Heritage, Colquitt versus Deerfield Beach. He's got Buford versus Thompson and Milton versus Lipscomb. So, Cole, I thought about you when I was going through some highlight footage of Trent Dilfer's interview, because one thing that stood out was that I started thinking about was the Tift County Blue Devils and the hardship that their football program is going through right now. I went back and looked at Lipscomb Academy before Trent Dilfer got there, guys, and that program was in the dumpster. It was a dumpster fire. I think they were like 1-9 or 2-8, something like that. And he's got them in national prominent status now. And so we asked him, what do you have to do to build a winning football program? Because I think Joe asked him, I'm going to actually play this clip. Guys, y'all bear with me. It's a 7-minute highlight clip to get him to answer this one question. But it's worth your time. So I'm going to go ahead and play it, and I'm going to get your reaction to it. All right. Hold on one second.
If he said money and recruiting, that's all it is.
Well, the word recruiting is the word recruiting is in it.
7 minutes to answer one question.
Check this out.
Next question is, if you look at the last 3 seasons, obviously,
can y'all hear that?
7-6,
yeah,
ranked number 68 in Tennessee, number 2,930 in the USA. 2020, 12-3, number 8 in Tennessee, number 319 in America. Last season, 13-1, number 3 in the state, number 17 in all of America. What? Give me the formula. If a coach is watching out there and says, you know what, I want to go to a private high school somewhere, and I want to do what Trent did. Give us 1 through 3 or 3 to 5, whatever points need to be done. How did you do it so quickly?
Number one is human development and mask it as a team. I think that's the principle I go around trying to teach people. If I learned anything, it's that you're in this, and this works for college too. Now, if you really dig into Nick Saban, you dig into Dabo Swinney, you dig into how they built their empires, they did it by developing the whole person. You'll become a product of your decision, of your choices with your decisions on the football field. So the type of player you become will be directly reflected in the type of choices and decisions you make off the field. Now, there is an athletic index, a baseline, obviously, right? So, yeah, I can't take a bunch of 5'7", 165-pound, 5'4" kids and make them great humans. You're going to win football games. I'm not saying that. I'm not that idealistic. But to help every student athlete reach their full potential and play to the close to the top of their potential as they can, they need to be developed in life. They need to be good sons, good brothers, good friends, good members of society. We really believe in high academic standards because you lose. It's not what you learn, it's how you learn a lot of times in high school. It's respecting the people around them. It's buying into something bigger than themselves. They're learning how to sacrifice. Football is the ultimate sacrificial sport. So you have to learn how to sacrifice. So we really focused on the human in general, and then trying to maximize every kid on our campus. I think the other thing you have to do is you have to recruit your campus. You know, you can't recruit in high school sports, and nor should you be able to, but you can recruit your own campus. You can make sure that football is exciting for every person on your campus.
Yep.
And you're not just recruiting players, you're recruiting a fan base, you're recruiting energy, you're recruiting the teacher, you're recruiting the administrator, you're recruiting everybody to buy into something that's bigger than just the school. So, our superstar right tackle right now, Brandon Solis, who's going to go anywhere he wants, he was a basketball player, and his mom looked me dead in the eyes and said, he will never play football, ever. Don't even try. So I didn't try to get him to play football. I tried to get Trisha to believe in what I could do for their family. And that now I developed a relationship with her. She trusted me. She knew we were in this for Brandon. Next thing you know, Brandon's playing football from basketball, and he's turning into one of the best tackles in America. Our team managers, our film people, we've developed an entire broadcast, digital media team from our program. We have 15 million impressions on our social channels. Well, how did that happen? We recruited people from the community to buy into this vision that we were not selling, but that we were sharing. Now they want to become part of it. Our equipment guys are one of the key people in our building is our janitor, Evan. He's one of us. He wears coach's gear. He's treated with the same amount of respect as I'm treated with. He's part of our tribe, and really trying to, so human development, recruiting your campus, your community. It's not players. I always heard said this way. Trent Baalke always said it this way. It's you're developing human capital in the football space. So everybody in the football space, you're trying to develop them around a bigger purpose. That's why we say tribe, not family. We want to grow this tribe to a bunch of people that are there to serve the tribe, and the tribe is there to serve them. We consider our 4th, 5th, 6th graders in our school system one of us. In fact, today after practice, they're in our film session. They're just part of who we are. So the more stuff you do like that, I think the more gasoline you pour on the development of your program. And then the third thing I would say is development. And when I say development of the athlete, let's just say the player. Let's just use football. Let's not be so holistic, esoteric. When you're just taking to developing a football player, you got to be a truth teller, because what happens is so many players have a vision and their parents have a vision of what they want to be, but that's not necessarily in line with what they can become. And you got to get them to understand that you'll actually enjoy this game more. You'll enjoy this process more if we can identify what you can become and get you to that spot. Not everybody can become the quarterback. I'm sorry, daddies. There's only a handful of them that can become the dude. Not all of them can become inside backers, right? The modern day inside linebacker, the highest level of football, has length. There's a lot of 5'8", 5'9" kids that played inside linebacker for so long because they were the tough kid that played inside backer. Great, we're going to RPO you all day and throw the ball right over your head. So you need length for inside backers. So we take tall, skinny kids that have toughness and turn them into inside backers. Now you might struggle in 8th grade and 9th grade, 10th grade because you physically haven't developed yet, but you're going to develop into what you can be. And what you can be is an impact player with certain traits if we can develop those. So we're very, very specific with the traits we're looking for at every position. We're very honest with the players, transparent. They have the right to speak into this and have, conversations that may seem like they're conversations of conflict, but really they're good, healthy conversations, so that when we say, are you bought in, they're completely bought in for the plan that we have them, and that becomes the plan for them and their families as well.
Sorry, man. I muted myself. I forgot
was
to
like,
unmute
what?
So, Justin, what was your initial take on that? Because I was looking at y'all's facial expression, and I noticed when he said you got to recruit your campus, you were you had this indignant look on your face.
Nah. See, that this is where I have a problem with, even coming from a private school. This is where I have a problem with private school coaches. Granted, Trent may be a great guy and a heck of a football coach, because I'm not. I'm just sitting here talking about him. But I will say this: he didn't come in that great of a football coach and turn the program around with the kids that were on campus.
He had 38 players on his team when he got there. 38 players.
But here's what I want to say. I agree with 50% of what he's got to say, but here's my number one thing with any private school coach. Until the school or the head football coach shows me the transfers that came in his last 2 years from 8th grade to 10th and 11th and 12th. Show me every transfer that came in from another school that's currently on your roster, and tell me that those 6, 7, 8 kids aren't making your program that much of a difference. You'll never get a coach or an administration to show you from a private school standpoint how many kids just transferred in that year, how many kids just came in. You're not going to know it unless you live in that area and realize, hey, because no offense, he didn't do it with the kids at his campus. There's just no way.
He will flat out tell you that he does get transfers in, but one reason he's a big name. He's a big name, former NFL Super Bowl winning quarterback, right? So that helps. Having his name on the marquee outside definitely helps. But there's something to be said about these coaches that come in and instill a lot of energy into a program. So when he starts talking about recruiting his players and he said something else that really stood out. He says he recruits the community as well. So that tells me that the best high school football, really the best coaches, whether you're talking about high school or college, whatever, they are very good politicians as well. They know how to sell their program to the public because they know they need support. They need warm bodies to volunteer. They need big time dollars. And I think so when he introduces that kind of an excitement to the program, it's not very hard to see why other players outside of his program want to come to his school.
No, I mean, I agree, but that's my whole point though. If he's a nobody and comes into that program, they're having another 3-7 season. They're having another 4, whatever. It's the fact of who he is, A, and then B is the main reason why he's having success is because of who he is and the players that just want to transfer over to play for him. And that's what I'm saying. I take John Wall, for instance, at John Milledge Academy. They run through GISA every single year. It happened all of a sudden magically overnight. You know why? Because kids all of a sudden want to go play for JT Wall.
Sure.
Got tired of Hancock and Baldwin and all that stuff in that area. And money talked, and kids get their stuff paid for. And next thing you know, they're rattling off 5 state championships. It's not. Let me say this. I'm going to give you a great example of a coach who's an awful coach, but had 2 of the best high school football teams I've ever seen in low classifications would be Lee Campbell when he won those championships at Hawkinsville back in, I think it was 03 and 04, whatever it was, 03 and 04. That was some of the best high school athletes I've ever seen. You could have put Ray Charles out there and he won 2 state championships. It did not matter who coached that team. And like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Dilfer, but until somebody just comes out and says, you know what, I showed up to the program, and because of who I am, I got in 15 transfers, and 8 of those are studs, and they're on my team now, and that's part of why we're winning. I won't ever agree fully with what any of them say.
Okay, hold on. I want to piggyback on Justin just a minute.
Okay.
Then he goes, "Boy."
Yeah, that was kind of awkward.
Well, it cut out on me.
Okay, go ahead, man.
Hey, so Justin, on the private school thing, so
Yeah.
you think private schools should not get transfers?
No, I agree. I think we're wide open, and we just need to admit it. I mean, we do it. We just need to admit it.
I think, Chase, what Justin is talking about is for the big time programs that win and win consistently.
Yeah.
Justin, correct me if I'm interpreting what you're saying incorrectly. For the big time programs that win and win consistently, you need a combination of great coaching and great players.
Yeah.
And a lot of times those great players come from other teams transferring into your program.
Yeah, in a private school. I don't know their situation, like how their private schools are set up, but in Georgia, in GIS area, even in Class A for the privates, you got to get those transfers. You just have to.
Yeah.
You
Now,
got to.
you've got, transferring it is one thing. It's almost what comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? When a coach comes in, does he have to start winning to attract players, or does he go out and get players to start winning? I think it's a combination of both. Let me give you an example. Trent Dilfer comes into a program. I think it was like 2-8, 3-7, something like that. So when he says that he was recruiting his players in his own school, let me give you an example of what he was talking about. He saw a player playing basketball, really great basketball player because it was a basketball school, right? Never played football a down in his life. He looks at that guy and says, "You need to be playing football." Turns him into one of the best offensive tackles in the country. That's what good coaching does. It identifies talent. He calls it an athletic index, right? He basically force ranks these kids and according to their talent. That's why he was adamant in saying, "Hey, I'm sorry to tell you, mom or dad, but your son may not be a quarterback. He might be a linebacker."
See, that's what made a lot of schools really great, Larry. That's what Nick Hyder done. Nick Hyder done that exact same thing. Nick Hyder would ask kids, "Hey, who's the best athlete you know? Is he on this football team? No. Well, does he go to this school? Yes. Where does he live? I want to go talk to him."
Yeah.
And see, usually those are exceptions to the rules. You're not going to walk into a school and find a magical kid that's sitting there, whatever size that kid is that you guys are talking about. Because I'm gonna be honest, I hadn't looked him up, but that's an exception to the rule. You're not going to walk into any school and see 5 of those guys walking around your hallways and be like, "Dang, none of y'all are playing football." That just rarely. That's usually the exception, and that's where it goes back to his name. As that kid, I don't know what he was being recruited as basketball. I would be curious, but I'm assuming he was probably going to go somewhere at basketball and get a free scholarship. And then here comes Trent. Why would you step on the football field if your team's terrible and risk getting injured? And then you step in Trent Dilfer, who's got all the connections, and one thing leads to another. Hey, yeah, I'll go play football.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
the guy's pretty
risk,
persuasive.
Yeah,
the guy's pretty persuasive. That's for sure.
The risk, the reward outweighs the risk at that point. You're not going to step on a football field with a no-name coach and you're going 1-9 and risk your basketball career. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, Chase. So I've got one more clip that's a surprise for you and the rest of Viking Nation out there. So this is what I was talking about earlier.
Time for me to log off.
Check this out, Joe. You know what's coming.
Look over his right shoulder, Coach.
Coach, listen.
Right shoulder.
Right here. Lowndes High School, the mighty Lowndes High Vikings. Listen, Joe has got. Joe, listen, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help you out right here.
I like it.
The mighty
It's a
Lowndes
good
Vikings.
helmet, by the way. That's a good looking helmet.
Yeah, man. The crimson and white of high school football. So, listen, Joe has set us up this year as our opening game in the Georgia-Florida Challenge, where I think we're inviting American Heritage out of South Florida up. So it's a 1-year deal. So we're going to have an opening next year, Joe. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. We're going to have to change the name of it to the Georgia-Tennessee Challenge then.
There you go. There you go. So Chase, there you go, man. I'm promoting Lowndes on a national scale here.
Hey, I like it. Let's play them. Line them up.
Hey, y'all.
We'll show them what a real football stadium look like.
y'all line up and play John Millage. You're going to lose.
Listen, man, every couple of weeks, every week or every couple of weeks, I'm ignoring that comment, by the way. You know what, as a matter of fact, Justin's going into the penalty box for that one. So
hey, all I can say is it's a run what you brung.
So every couple of weeks, Joe will bring a new coach in for us to interview, one of these nationally prominent. And I give that, Joe will vouch for this. I give that pitch to every coach, whether it's the Miami Central coach to the not the Allen, Texas, but I can't remember, Duncanville coach, St. John Bosco, all these different coaches, Trent Dilfer. I'm always promoting the Lowndes program because I want these programs to come to Lowndes to play, because I know we're not traveling to California to play. So I want these programs to come to Lowndes and experience this South Georgia weather, because I think we can take them if we wear them down. What do you think, Chase?
Hey, I want them to come. I want some of these teams that are from up north. Now, Texas, yeah, their heat is a little hot, but I want them to come down here and play in late August when it's 98 degrees outside and it's so muggy that when you walk outside, you need another shower, and see if them boys can really hold out for 4 quarters of football. Because I don't think they can.
They say, yeah, but if they throw up 42 points as quick as Collins Hill did, defense don't have to worry about it.
Oh, Lord.
Well, maybe next time the team before them won't take out our 2 leading scorers.
Chase, has anyone on the history of this program ever been put in the penalty box twice in one show? I don't think it's happened.
Justin's like Valdosta fans. He's riding on the past. We worried about the future, baby.
Oh my gosh! Listen, if you're gonna pitch South Georgia Heat in late August, we better schedule some of these programs before we get this indoor practice facility built and start playing inside in climate control.
Well, because my understanding is no, it's not an indoor practice facility there. It's a multi-use facility.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah, but my understanding is the indoor practice facility is for days when the quote unquote wet bulb is too high that GHSA says you can't practice outside. It's for days like that, and it's for days when the weather's bad and things like that. Now, as far as I know, Lowndes is still going to practice in the heat because that's the ultimate conditioner. I mean, right. You can't simulate South Georgia heat. If you can run in pads and you can practice in pads in South Georgia heat in July, late July, early August, you can last through 4 quarters of football.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I left.
I was just having a conversation.
You were just having a conversation about what?
Conversation with about
Justin and I was like, okay, what's he talking about?
No, I was just having a conversation with a kid that played at Valdosta the other night, and he was talking about when that team from somewhere out west, I think it was maybe Utah or Colorado or somewhere, come down and the weather got bad that Friday, and they had to wind up playing the game the following the next day at like 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning.
The Utah was it? Yeah, it was a Utah team, the Beat Diggers.
So wait a minute.
Like what? Yeah, Larry's not kidding.
I think that was the name of their mascot, the Beat Diggers.
Yeah, you say that 5 times fast, and I guarantee you won't get the same result.
Okay, let's move along.
But the kid from Valdosta was saying that by the second quarter, because of the humidity and the heat and everything down here, those boys were gassed. They were done. And Valdosta players are looking at them like, "What? This ain't nothing. We're practicing this."
Yeah.
So I mean, the South Georgia Heat has always been the ultimate equalizer when these teams from up north come down. I mean, and I'm not talking North Georgia, Justin. I'm talking Tennessee, Virginia, Maryland. I ain't talking about North Georgia. North Georgia Heat just as bad as us, with a few exceptions. But
I gotta tell you guys, Bergen Catholic came down a couple years ago and played Grayson in Atlanta in August and put a running clock on Grayson. So some of these teams are pretty good.
Was that before Grayson's transfers or afters?
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to know. Is that before?
Was that?
So Joe reminds us that was the Jordan Utah Beat Diggers. That was the name. of the
I
team.
wouldn't. I would not have that as. I wouldn't. I would transfer school if that was my mascot.
So, listen, I've been. Let me change the subject. Last topic of the show tonight. We got a few minutes left, and I purposely left this one for the very last because it could be the most controversial, and that is the proper role of fans. You remember, I'm always talking about the four pillars of a highly successful team. If you want to sustain winning at the highest levels, you got to have administration support. You got to have community support. You got to have great coaching, and you got to have coachable athletes, right? Guys, Justin did not disappear from the show. He just went to audio only. That's why his video picture disappeared from the show. So he can still hear us. He can still talk as well. So there he is, back all of a sudden.
I had to plug my phone up. It was on 1%. It was going down.
And every Lowndes fan was like, oh, man, he's back. So here's the question. Out of those four pillars, the one that is probably the most volatile is the fan base, the community support. And that can look it could look differently to different programs, right? You could have fans that give a lot of money, fans that, volunteer their time and effort. And part of that community support are the loudmouth, outspoken fans. So in your mind, you guys have been around football for a long time. I call you guys super fans. So what do you think a great fan looks like? What is the proper role of a fan?
Well, I'll kick
not all at once.
I'll kick it off real quick and tell you. First off, you can't be like some fans. You got to find a happy medium.
Okay.
You can't be. And I'm just gonna give us an example because dadgummit, I'm still salty about it. You can't be like Thomasville fans. You can't be that far. You can't be that far right. You can't be that far one way or the other. You got to be. And I'm just picking. I'm not salty about that anymore. I'll take care of that later. But my point is though, you need to be there to support the team. If you can't do it monetary wise, you need to be there. At the football games if you can help. And if you want to be involved as helping, just with a fundraiser, whatever the case may be, support in that way. And then it doesn't matter if it's your head coach. It don't matter what the case may be. Stick up for the program as an entity. If you see somebody doing wrong, even if it's a head coach, you as collective fans need to point it out and call it out. You need to, because at the end of the day, that head coach is going to leave at some point. You got to be a fan to your school and loyal to your program. Not to a fault, but also not sit back and do nothing at the same time.
Now you just that's the controversial part. Yeah, you just pointed something out that it makes some people uncomfortable. I'm gonna get Chase's opinion here in a second. It makes some people uncomfortable because I just flat out say you said that it's the role of some fans to basically keep their head coach in line if he steps out of line.
Yep.
Right. Chase, what's your take on the proper role of a fan?
Well, I agree with Justin on that.
See,
what?
If you listen to me talk,
hold on. Let me finish, Larry. Don't put me in the penalty box, Lynn.
Okay.
I agree with Justin on the keeping a head coach in line because I believe in other programs. We'll go to the west of us just a little bit, Larry. If they would have kept their head coach in line, he'd probably still be there. The problem is you give a head coach too much rope in the community and he winds up hanging himself with it.
Guys, let me stop here. I don't really know how you keep a head coach in line. How do you do that?
You mean to tell me, I know it may be, y'all may not have it at Lowndes, but 90% of schools, you can't sit here and tell me that certain boosters don't control certain things. Certain people with certain money can keep people in check. I mean, that's at every school.
That's everywhere. I mean, that's a given. Money controls everything. We know that. We're not
coaches.
that.
Part of the show that earlier on the show, it's like the best head coaches are great politicians, right? So they find out who the money people are up front, and they become best of friends. So I don't know if the money people are really good, people to necessarily make sure the coaches stay between the guardrails.
No,
Right.
but it's the ones that maybe are, let's say, middle tier money people, not big money, but middle tier money, that they want to see their program survive. They want to see their program grow and thrive, and that's the guys who are gonna say, when they see something happening, going to pull the coach off to the side and say, look, don't go down this road. I'm telling you, it's a bad road to go down. Don't go down this road. Things like that. But as the role of a fan, as far as, if you want to be involved and you can't be involved monetarily, there's programs that are being put in place at every school system and every program, every football program, such as like with Lowndes, Feed the Vikings, Feed the
Yeah.
Cats for Valdosta, stuff like that. Go volunteer your time, because trust me, I've got a player playing it. I got a rising ninth grader going to Lowndes right now. He makes sure that he gets there every morning so that he can get breakfast and all that, and eat before practice and weightlifting and all that. It takes a community to build a program up. So, if you're a head coach and you're walking into a program, get your fans involved, get your fans feeling like they're part of the team. Because that's the ultimate goal for a fan. We want to feel like we're part of the team. We want to feel like we're having a impact
Yeah.
on the team. So, and the best way for a community and a fan to do that is to get involved. I mean, a lot of people don't even know, if let's say you're a retired football coach, but you want to stay involved, you can go out and volunteer as a community coach and go out and give your time to the team. I mean,
Yeah. I think I agree to some extent what you guys are saying. I don't know if it's a proper role of a fan to try to keep coaches in check. I think that's what administrations are for, like it's superintendents, athletic directors, that kind of stuff. Now, if fans in general see coaches stepping out of line, or they start to do something that, like recruiting, what happened to Valdosta a couple of years ago was a crying shame, because there was, according to the allegations, there was some stuff going on. And, fans need to, I think, address that with their administration, and the administration holds the coaches accountable. I don't know if it's a proper role of a fan to go straight to the coach and say, hey, you got to stop doing this. I don't know how much a coach would, in his right mind, would listen to a fan.
No, I'm saying as like he's saying, your middle to even upper tier people as a collective unit have to then step up and go have a meeting, whether it be 10 or 15 people, whatever, not just one. You as a collective unit step up and say, hey, look, we ain't gonna tolerate X, Y, and Z. That's what I'm talking. I'm not saying one fan going and keeping the cut. No, I'm saying as a collective group, you have to know what's best. And if you got a collective group of 15 to 20 people that are good people, that are good-hearted people, that know football, been around the program, that want to see the program stay, like Jay was talking about, stay and be future success, those type of people step up and say, hey, look, we're not going to tolerate this. You got to quit, or hey, it's time. Either you get in line or don't. I just think that has to happen everywhere to a degree, as a unit, not as just a.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there are different types of fans. And depending on the category of fan you are, there's a different type of role that you need to play. There's one is the casual fan. Those are what we call bandwagon fans, right? As long as the program's winning, they're going to buy their ticket. They're going to go to the game on Friday night, and they're going to cheer for their team. And then they won't think about it again until next Friday night when it's time to go watch another game. Those are casual fans. If the program starts losing, those are the first fans that usually don't buy tickets. They don't renew their season tickets, and you just notice those fans start to gradually leave the program. Those are casual fans. I don't know if you're ever going to motivate them to do anything other than, go to a game if the team is winning. Then there's kind of what I call the bedrock fan. These are the fans that support the program. They're not the big money people, but they support the program. They buy season tickets through thick and thin. They're always there. Listen, there was a time when Lowndes was not a very good program at all, right? But we've got fans that have been around this program for 50 years through thick and thin. Used to, you could get a season ticket on the 50-yard line and never, ever rub elbows with anybody else because the
Facts.
program was that bad, right?
Facts.
Yeah. So those are bedrock fans that through thick and thin are there to support the program. I think those fans earn the right to criticize the program and or the coaches, right? Because they're there through thick and thin. They've earned their stripes, right? Then you've got the money fans. These are the guys that love the program, but they take it to the next level and they're willing to shell out cold, hard cash to support the program, to make the program better. They've also earned the right to. Now, unfortunately, I think it's only the money fans that get the respect and the attention of the administration and or coaches at most programs, I would think, because money talks, right?
Of course.
And so I think that middle group of fans are the ones that make up the heart and soul of a program. They probably comprise most of the fans, most of the solid core fans. And I think programs, coaches, administrations, athletic directors, to their peril, when they don't listen or give these types of fans the respect they deserve, that's when a program starts to get in trouble ethically, financially, and then they start losing eventually.
Well, Larry, another thing is fans have got to learn and remember to be realistic.
Yeah.
There is a major difference between a fan and a fanatic.
Absolutely. The
Do I love
fanatic has
Lowndes?
crazy expectations, right?
Yeah. Do I love Lowndes and do I like messing with Justin and Cole and all them talking about Lowndes? Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. But realistically, just understand that especially going into this year, Lowndes fans have got to be realistic. You're with a first year head coach. You're replacing a starting quarterback, a starting running back. Your defense is still young, but they're learning.
Yep.
And, you got a new defensive coordinator, an entire new defensive system, entire new offensive system. So, be realistic and set your expectations accordingly. Don't try to hang a coach first year because he doesn't make it to the state title game.
Absolutely.
Be realistic. Be realistic. Lowndes is probably not going to make it to the state title game this year. Do I hope they do? Absolutely. Realistically, not going to happen. I mean, if Zach Grades pulls off that miracle, that's all to it. I just think we're a year away.
Quick question that I'm gonna flip on because it was something that Dilfer said that something I don't 100% agree with.
Okay.
And you talking about the pillars and that long-winded explanation he had. The short question I got: Do you two agree? Because I don't. This is where I disagree. I don't think that the whole team. There's exceptions again to the rule in my perspective, but I don't think as a whole collective team that I haven't ran into teams that don't have a couple of players that are outliers, that are some troublemakers. You got to have a couple of those players on your team that has a certain edge. Whether or not they get in trouble off the field is a different story. Some of them do, but they have that crazy edge when it comes on Friday nights, and you have those 3 or 4 kids that are just kind of off the wall, and you kind of got to put up with some stuff because of their talent on the football field.
No.
What's your question?
My question is do you think that you can win with a team full of Saints, or is there always going to be a couple of rough kids on there that is going to help you win?
That's a tough question. I would have to go back and look at all the winning programs. My initial gut reaction would say this is a violent sport.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say this.
And sometimes it takes a little. It takes a person with a little edge to them.
You don't have to look far, and I'm not going to. Of course, I would never say any kids or anything, but just look at Lee County's success, and then look at a lot of the off-field stuff with a lot of stuff. I mean, that you got to have an edge. You got to have an edge there with some kids.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Justin. I think to an extent you got to have some kids with an edge, but I also think that it is the coaches who know how to harness that are the most successful.
Yeah,
And one of the things that we like to see at the high school level, from what I understand, most fans like this is, one of the things that we like from our coaches is coaches that instill some type of character development program, because we do recognize out of 150 to 200 kids, you're gonna have some kids that grow up in some rough environments, right? So they're basically a product of their environment, and sometimes that environment's pretty rough. And sometimes they have that, Justin uses that word, edge to them. Well, the great coaches, I think, recognizes those kids, but they still want them to be successful on the football field, but they also want to set them up for success after football. And I think the best coaches, not just the ones that win the most games, but the best high school coaches are great at winning football games and developing, or at least installing, higher character into some of their kids, right? And so that's one of the things that I loved about Jamie DuBose when he was here was the Vikings to Mentor program. Chase, you know what I'm talking about.
The Boys to Vikings.
Boys to Vikings program that was led by Lowndes players, right? And so he put those guys into those types of positions to teach them how to work with kids, to be mentors, to instill high character development. He brought in motivational speakers. He brought in character development guys like pastors and the like to talk to these kids constantly about high character stuff. I love that approach. I hope Zach Grage is doing stuff like that. I'm sure he is. But the best coaches are the ones not just that focus on winning football games, but they focus on high character and instilling and develop. I think that's what Trent Dilfer called human development. That was his buzzword. Other people call it character development. Whatever you call it, instill character education into some of these kids to help these players that come from a rougher part of society. So Michael Broadwater, I'll leave it on this. Michael Broadwater is another great Viking. He says, I'd rather our coaches teach young men to be good citizens. I'm willing to lose a game rather than lose a young man. I would agree with Michael Broadwater to a certain extent. He's got to win games in order to stick around to instill character into kids, right? That's basically the nature of this business, the nature of high school football. You got to win football games.
Here's the best saying I ever heard a head coach or any coach say to a group of players. And that is, he told his players to learn to use football to get where you want to be instead of letting football use you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So guys, good stuff from you guys tonight, man. You guys brought your A games. You're a little zany at first. You pulled it back around. Justin was on his best behavior. He must be taking something. I'm not sure.
The mustache.
It's the mustache. I love it. Whatever it is, Rooster, I love it.
Oh, man. Look, I don't know who the guy
Goose.
I don't know who the guy is,
Goose.
But I have to meet him if he's anything like it.
Maybe we should call Cole Rooster, because if you listen closely, every once in a while, you can hear the chickens outside his door.
Oh, Lord.
He might be. My daddy used to tell me stories. I think he was joking, at least. I don't know, but he talked about how they lived in the house. And just talking about the chicken real quick. Cole I can see Cole doing this. He said that they used to be holes in the floor and chickens stick their head up and he snatched them up through the floor, and that's what they ate for dinner that night.
I don't think Cole's that bad off. No, I think Cole lives on a farm
I didn't
or something.
mean it like that. I just meant that
Oh, my God.
not the house.
Dang, man.
You took it the wrong way.
Cole just left Team Justin.
Cole, that comment was not directed how they took it, man.
Oh, God.
Well, we'll end the show on that. Y'all have a great week, guys. On behalf of Chase Carto, Justin Haley, I'm Larry Godwin, and on behalf of Cole Moore as well. So we love you, Cole. And George, we hope you feel better, man. George is under the weather tonight. He'll join us at full strength next week. So, guys, on behalf of all these guys, you've been watching the pregame Blitz and the Viking Nation Live on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. We got you guys. Let me start over. We'll catch you guys next week. Go Vikings.
Go Wildcats.